YouTube, what's going on? I'm back for another video. uh, I feel tired, man. I feel like I have cancer or some kind of disease. I'm always tired. No matter how much sleep I get, I'm just always tired. And I don't want to really. Oh, I do see a doctor regularly. I have a primary care doctor, but I have a feeling that if I bring up my fatigue to the doctor, she's just going to say, well, it's either your sleeping habits or your caffeine use. And I do imbibe a lot of energy drinks, unfortunately. And I think that's the root cause of it. Just the total fatigue that I think is caused by the energy drinks because they kind of bring you up and they drop you down. So I need to kind of stop. I have to totally stop drinking Monster, especially Monster, because that one just totally screws you up. I mean, the Kickstart's okay, but if you really want to mess your body up and your mind, your mental faculties, start drinking Monster. It'll really fuck you up, and that's the truth. But well, hopefully I got all the cursing I'm gonna do out of the way. Like I said, I don't want to curse on my channel. I want it to be family friendly, but we'll see about that. Anyway, I wanted to make a video about Jesus Christ, and as I say his name, I'm kind of imbued with the idea that I don't have the energy to really do him justice and do a really great video on him. And when I was in my car driving home, I was thinking about a really great video I could put up about Jesus Christ. But due to my fatigue and everything, I just don't feel like I have the faculties to pull it off. But because I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe that He's going to support me and He's going to let me be able to create something great no matter what. So I'm going to carry on and create a video here about Him, even though I don't feel like I can really do Him justice right now or even make the video I want to make. But sometimes when we just try, we experiment and we just try something. Maybe we don't make what we intended to make, but we make something else. And I know that's the way art is. Like a Brave New World. If Aldous Huxley could write a Brave New World all over again, he'd write a completely different book. He's no longer with us, but you know what I mean. So uh, anyway, I wanted to say a few things about Jesus Christ. The first thing I wanted to say about him is that I do believe in my heart that he is God, he is Lord, and I'm going to rejoin the Catholic Church because the Roman Catholic Church because I love God and I want to worship Him on Sundays, and I just have to work on getting there. I just have to get up out of bed and get to church, and I'm still struggling with finding the right church, but I think I will find it, and it doesn't have to be, church doesn't have to be perfect. The great thing about a Catholic service is that it's not really about, it's not really about the preacher or the homily or anything really. What the service is about is acting out the experience of being a Christian. So even if you don't like the sermon, the other parts of the Mass, the kneeling and the genuflection and the receiving the Eucharist, all these other parts of the Mass are just as important as the sermon. Where if you go to an evangelical church, the center of the service is the sermon, but in the Catholic service, every piece is integral, and that's why they are really the one true church. But I love Christians of all denominations, and I've attended different churches, evangelical churches, and I respect all Christians, not just Roman Catholics. But I have to say that the Roman Catholic Mass is the best. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Roman Catholic, but I want to briefly talk about why I'm Roman Catholic. Not only was I raised Roman Catholic, I was also exposed to Baptist church, Baptist religion, Baptist people, and Baptist faith. And there's very attractive aspects to the Baptist way of belief, of religion. And the reason why I'm still a Catholic in adulthood and I'm rejoining the church, if I can get there, maybe I'll go tomorrow morning because there's usually services every day, almost. But anyway, the reason why I'm rejoining the Catholic Church is because uh, I lost my mother when I was 8 years old, Not only was she bringing us to Catholic Church, but when she passed away, the priest at the time, Father Durkin, he gave my mother a total Catholic funeral, and she wasn't formally, confirmed as a Catholic, but she was taking us to Mass every Sunday. But she was a Protestant. She raised Protestant. So the fact that the Catholic Church gave her a Catholic funeral was really important to me, and it creates a connection that's lifelong, that's deeper than blood for me with the Catholic Church. And the other experience that I had with the Catholic Church was during my mother's funeral. My father foisted the crucifix upon me and made me carry the crucifix down the aisle. So I was standing like this, carrying the crucifix down the aisle. And for an 8-year-old boy whose mother just passed away, and we're trying to commemorate, we're trying to celebrate, and we're trying to remember, and we're trying to ritualize the life of my mother, it was a very powerful, galvanizing event for me. And it basically decided the entire course of my life. And what I realized is that if I had grown up and I didn't experience the Baptist faith through these Bible camps, I may not have been such an ardent Catholic or an ardent Christian, but I think that I always would have maintained a certain level of Catholicism and a certain level of Christianity. I may not be as extreme as I am now, but I would have always been Christian because of the experiences that I had with my mother's death and how the Catholic Church imbued the faith of Christ onto me. And I'm very thankful for that, because Christianity is the only thing that kept me from killing myself. It kept me from making really bad decisions in life. And it kept me from, thinking that life is meaningless, because I know it's not, because Christ gives meaning. Christ is love. So now that I've established why I'm Roman Catholic, I'd like to talk about Jesus Christ. So this is kind of a 2-part video. I should probably split this up into 2 parts, but it's not my style, so I'm going to try to put this in one video. But let me just tell you why I believe in Jesus Christ and why Jesus Christ is God. I have a master's degree in English literature from SUNY Albany. So when I talk about Jesus Christ, I know what I'm talking about in this regard. So hear me out. So Jesus Christ, if you put aside the miracles, if you put aside, the splendid acts that he did and performed, and you just regard his words, you will see that he is godly, that the way he speaks and his rhetorical structure in his sentences is so profound that you can actually understand Christ as Godhead just from reading his words. That's how powerful and revolutionary they are. A lot of people will disagree with me on that, but then again, I have a degree in English literature. I understand words, I understand meaning, and I will dispute that with anybody who comes along and tries to tell me that Christ is not Lord. And I can prove that Christ is Lord just by the way he speaks. But that's not the point of my video. The point of my video is that once you establish a relationship with Jesus Christ that's personal and profound, you begin to understand yourself in relation to God, and you understand that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, but he's also God, and he's also the Spirit. Christians believe in the triune God, which means that God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are 3 distinct entities, but they are also the same. 3 get 1. And Muslims don't understand that. Their religion impedes them from understanding. And a lot of other Christian sects like Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't understand that either. They don't really understand that Christ is God. So let me just talk about what I think the greatest verse in the whole Bible is. The greatest, most fascinating part of the whole Bible I'm about to explain to you. The greatest, most fascinating part of the whole Bible, in my limited understanding of the Bible, is in Matthew, where Pontius Pilate is interrogating Jesus Christ. He's trying to decide whether or not he's going to crucify this guy, whether or not the Jews are right, and whether or not he should crucify him. So he has a dialogue with Jesus Christ, and he comes to the conclusion that Jesus Christ has committed no crimes, and he doesn't want to kill Christ. And he tells the Jews that he doesn't want to do it, and the Jews wind up trading Barabbas for Christ, so Christ is crucified. But when Pontius Pilate is interrogating Christ, Pontius Pilate asks Christ, this is what I feel is the most important part of the Bible. He says, "What is truth?" to Christ, after Jesus was telling him about himself and his kingdom, and Christ doesn't answer him. He doesn't answer Pontius Pilate. And I thought it was the most curious part of the Bible that I've ever come across, because Pontius Pilate blankly asks Christ right to his face. He says, "What is truth?" And Christ doesn't answer him. And I just found out today when I was driving why I believe that's why, or why that happened that way. And what I feel is that when Christ didn't answer Pontius Pilate, it was because Christ, for Christians, is regarded as the truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. So when Pontius Pilate asked Christ, "What's truth?" he was literally looking at God in the face, the one who created the entire universe, who formed the heavens, who created the earth, who created the entire universe, all the planets and all the solar systems, everything. He looked at Jesus Christ right in the face, and he told him, "What is truth?" So I think that Christ answered that question, even though he didn't speak, because Christ's sacrifice on the cross is the ultimate expression of truth. And what is truth? Truth is love. In particular, truth is God's love for mankind, for humans, for humankind. So if truth is love, and Jesus Christ is truth, and Jesus Christ is love, and Jesus Christ's act of sacrificing himself on the cross, allowing himself as God and as man to be crucified for the sins of all of humanity, that is the ultimate expression of love that the world has ever seen. And that's why I feel like that scene in the Bible is one of the most important scenes, most fascinating scenes. When you have a man, a fallible man, a leader in the Roman Empire, and he asks God himself, he asks Jesus Christ right to his face, "What is truth?" And he's staring right at truth, right in the face. Because God is truth. Jesus Christ is truth. Jesus Christ is love. Jesus Christ died for us. And in that act of dying for us, he established a bond with mankind that was deeper than any other previous covenant that God had established. And the covenant that Jesus Christ established with mankind through his death on the cross and the propitiation of sins was the most profound moment in all of human history. I don't think you understand this, but let me explain. Jesus Christ is the most important man who has ever lived in the history of the world. And his act of dying on the cross and the resurrection when he rose again are the most important events in human history. But that bond that he established through his sacrifice, that is what's truly important, because it establishes the bond of love between God. It's a covenant of love between God and man. A covenant of love between Jesus Christ and man. And it's profoundly important. profoundly special.